and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support on my previous video. You know, I look at that video sometimes and I'm like, oh my god, like so many people have watched it, and like I feel so grateful. So I was like, okay, let me make another one. Basically, if you didn't know, I'm a 5th year medical student studying at, actually I don't think I should tell you where I'm studying in case you come and like, I don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit more about, you know, what my day-to-day is like as a 5th year medical student. So my first placement, which I'm currently on right now, is Obstetrics and Gynaecology. You have obstetrics, which is all to do with cute little babies being born and women during their pregnancy. Gynecology is all to do with the female reproductive system and any issues that occur with that. I'm actually really liking my placement. I'm 6 weeks in and I am enjoying it so much. And it's actually really different to 3rd year, because in 3rd year it was very much like work experience, whereas like now I feel so involved, like I'm part of the team, and it makes me so happy because it's like this is the reason why I wanted to do medicine. So yeah, let's get into it then. My wake up call really depends on what I'm doing in the mornings. So my timetable is basically a mixture of being in surgery, being on the wards, or being in clinics. That is a huge part of it, being in clinics. This morning is when I had surgery, and that means a 7:30 sharp start, okay? I need to be there dressed in my scrubs and ready to go at 7:30. That basically means I need to wake up at 6 and leave it around 6:50 to make sure I get there on time. And if I have clinics in the morning, it's a bit more of a chilled start at like around 9 o'clock, and I need to wake up at 7 to leave it around 8, and then I'll get there at 9. So I get up in the morning and I open the curtains and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of light. And it kind of helps me wake up, and then I literally like run into the shower, have a quick shower, and get dressed. So I was actually really sleepy this morning, and the reason why I'm always in a rush in the morning is because I literally value my sleep so much. So like I've obviously overslept by like 10-15 minutes. Yeah, so that's kind of like what my morning routine is like. This is the first year I'm living at home, and it's my first year commuting, and my parents and my sister did not believe I could commute because, again, I love my sleep. But guess who's doing it? Yes, your girl is commuting a whole 40 minutes slash an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And like, I know other people have like longer commutes and stuff, but I'm just so happy that I'm doing it because literally, yeah, it's a miracle. Yeah, so my commute, it involves like 2 train changes, and yeah, it's actually really nice. And the reason why I like early starts, so starts for surgery, is because I get a seat on the train, and that never happens. This morning I had a seat, I got my iPad out, I was reading the textbook, I was literally on a madness. So when I got there, went to the scrubs cupboard, got myself a pair of small scrubs, and got changed really quickly and went downstairs where the surgeries are taking place. In the morning we had 3 patients on our list, and I was in a urogynae theatre. Urogynae basically means issues to do with the bladder in women. The patients that we were seeing had issues with their urine, they were going to the toilet too often, or they had issues with leaking. So what I did was I introduced myself to the registrar who was there, and she was literally so lovely. She asked me, oh, what I needed to get signed off, what I needed to get done, and it's so nice when you have people like that who are really interested in, you know, in your learning and the experience that you have as a medical student. So what I did was I looked at the theatre list and I was like, okay, who can I go speak to, who can I take a history from? If you take a history from a patient and you build up the cases that you have, I feel like I remember things so much better, and I never did this in 3rd year, and it's something that I'm picking up this year and learning about it this year, and it literally helps so much. So we had 3 patients and I took a history for 2 because that's all I had time for, and you know, you build like a really good rapport with them, and some patients are so nervous going in, and when they come through those doors, it's so nice to see a friendly face. And I feel as a medical student, you actually have time to, you know, talk to them and get to know a bit more about their, like, not only their history, but also about how they're feeling. It was around 9 o'clock, 9:15 when we actually started taking the first patient in, and I presented both patients to the registrar and the consultant. They gave me feedback on how I presented, what other questions I could have asked, and things that I kind of missed out. And it's actually so useful because now, like, you know, when I see a patient who's had a similar thing, I'll be like, okay, now I need to ask them this question, or I need to ask them this question. Also, for one of the surgeries, I got to scrub up. Yeah, that's me. That's me. I got to scrub up. My nose is so itchy. What is this? So scrubbing up is basically making yourself as sterile as possible and making sure the whole environment is aseptic, so without any bacteria. That requires like a lot of hand washing, preparing all your gown and your gloves like beforehand, and it's I wouldn't say it's complex, but like once you've done it a few times, you kind of get used to it. So I had to do that, and then I was an extra pair of hands that, you know, could help out if they needed. Sometimes you have to ask like, oh, can I scrub up? Whereas like today they were like to me, oh, can you scrub up please? We might need an extra pair of hands. And I was like, yes, of course I will scrub up. When I'm in theatres and I'm not scrubbing up and they're kind of getting the patient ready, I'll be helping out the anaesthetist with like anything that they need doing. Okay, what's the next thing I did? So, okay, let's go back to breakfast actually. I didn't have breakfast, silly me, and I never have breakfast because again, I'm always running late. And I wish I did because I literally finished theatres at 1. And I was so hungry by that point, and like I kept drinking water in between patients because I was like, oh my god, I need to keep myself hydrated. But literally, please have breakfast, guys. And even to myself, please have breakfast, because like I felt a bit like, oh, by the end. So I literally headed straight to Tesco. So I got a cheese sandwich and I got strawberries because although I was hungry, I wasn't like that hungry, and I was meeting up with a friend after as well. I had that in the common room, and I was just sorting out a few of the sign-offs that I'd done. Basically doing the paperwork for them, and I spoke to a few friends in the common room. The thing is with my obs and gynae placement is that our timetable is such that we have one-on-one teaching pretty much wherever we go. Because of the nature of my timetable, I don't really get to see other people on my firm as much as well, unless we have a tutorial and stuff. So I've made it a habit to go down to the common room and just chill there and see like who pops by and stuff. I really like basically talking to people. Then I headed straight up to the library. I just can't begin to tell you how much I love this library. It literally feels like I'm in Harry Potter every time I go there, and it's really nice. Basically, I'm really interested in public health policy making. I do extracurricular stuff for that. I was writing up a segment of a report, which is due tomorrow. I was just making a few like final minute edits and stuff. So I had around an hour basically for lunch. So I had food half an hour, and then I worked upstairs in the library for around half an hour as well. And then I headed to clinics. So usually clinics start at around 1:30, or actually we're expected to be there at 1:30, but they actually start a bit later at around 2. Firstly, my battery was so rude to me. It literally, oh my god, overflow. So I was actually in the gynae emergency clinic. This is when women have come into either A&E or to their GP, and their GP or A&E has referred them straight to see a specialist for help. And this is usually gynecological emergencies, and that can include things like ectopic pregnancies and miscarriages. Like those are the two main things that I've seen so far. And again, the issues in obstetrics and gynecology are really sensitive, and therefore it's so important to learn from people who are like up there about how they deal with these issues. And the thing is, you get to learn so much from just observing. Also, what I usually do in clinics is take notes on my iPad. Let me grab it for you. So we have this cute little iPad, and I have this pen. This is like the Logitech pen because your girl can't afford the Apple Pencil. So with gynae, I would be making notes on like the ectopic pregnancies, their management, how they usually present, like the triad they present with, and then talking about miscarriages and the different types. It's actually really useful having this, and I feel like, you know, when I write things down, I remember it more as well. Obviously, I don't write any confidential information, and that's why I'm not really talking a lot about the exact case I've seen. Like, it's really important to maintain confidentiality. You want to have a discussion with the person that you've sat in with about the case you saw, the management options, and you know, if there was anything unique about this case. But also, they obviously need their time to type everything up. So what I kind of do during that period is I change the sheets for them, make sure that the bed is clean, etc. So I feel like the best thing you can do in firms is put yourself out there. And that's what I've been trying to do this year. Yeah. I'm kind of happy. Yeah. I finished at 4, and then I met up with a friend really quickly. We kind of walked around, and guess where I'm walking across? The limbo wing. That's basically where the royal babies are born, and I work here. And then I came home, and I feel like it's so important to have a balance between firms, family and friends. Yeah, like That's the triad of life. Actually, and any other interest you have as well, but you know, that's like really, really important to me. So now that I'm home, I'm kind of recording this video and I'm so tired. That commute was so long, it was literally so packed. But I found a seat on the Metropolitan line back home and oh my god, I feel amazing. Like I literally slept the whole way and it's crazy how I woke up just before my stop. But don't worry guys, I am going out with my family. But till then, I'll rest up. My sister's not letting me rest. She's there like a smurf and she's making me play games with her. So I've got some gaming snacks and with my smurf. So after this I'm going to watch a movie. Basically whenever I'm with my sister we're just always like messing around and like having fun, and you know I really like chilling with my family. I think that's about it. And if you have any specific questions about medicine or life as a 5th year, like feel free to drop me a message on Instagram. I hope you guys like this video and thank you so much for watching this far. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying that. Who am I? Who am I? Okay, I'm gonna burp. Did you hear that? Oops. What? Oh!
It's not your ankle, it's your toe.
Okay, yeah, true.
Why is that a drama queen?
Raw, you know me. Okay,
What can I say?
cool. I did it. I did it. I did it. Damn.